Welcome to Peaceful Zen Talks. Today we have Susie, and Susie is a wonderful influencer. She's a travel influencer, and she empowers women specifically who are divorced. And she's also an incredible author with her third book coming out very soon. So Susie, would love to hear about your journey. I would love for you to introduce yourself to everyone.
Thank you so much for having me on your show. My name is Susie, and for the longest time, I was a high school teacher and academic chair. I lost my job in teaching in 2018 due to the wildfires that hit Sonoma County here in Northern California. And at the same time, I was served divorce papers. So I said, what area and field can I enter where my ending salary is the same as a startup salary in a new field? So I said, you know what? I've always been interested in languages. I myself speak 5 languages,
Wow.
English being my fourth, in order of acquisition. So why don't I learn to speak languages and talk to the computer? So I went to Berkeley Coding Bootcamp and graduated in 2019 with a full stack developer certificate. And then I started applying for jobs in the tech world. I had the chance to work at Apple, Facebook, Zoom. And then in 2023, last year, at exactly February last year, I lost my job at Zoom due to the major tech layoffs that impacted a lot of people in the San Francisco Bay Area. And so it was a time for me to reconsider which direction to go. I continued applying for jobs in the tech world, but nothing that I was passionate about came about. And the companies were giving me really low ball offers because it was just a bad year economically, for the field. And so I said, I'm going to embrace my full-time influencer role. I was already doing part-time influence work. So I naturally fell into the travel lifestyle niche because I was always passionate about it. At the same time, during my unemployment, I said, you know what? I've always wanted to write. And I've gone through the spiritual journey, and my spirit guides were pushing me, when you have dreams, you wake up, these messages come about. I said, you know what? It's time for me to write down my journey and share it with the collective. I'm a twin flame star seed. And so I started with my first book called Inner Child Healing, because I myself, growing up with Asian parents who are extremly, what is it? The word that I want to use? They're very strict, and then they expect a lot out of you. And
Yeah,
the way that you're brought up leads to a lot of childhood trauma. So
definitely. Yeah,
unknowingly, they didn't
yeah.
mean to be causing this, but it did have an impact on me. So
Mhm.
I started doing a lot of meditation for self healing, and I learned to connect with my higher self and was able to go back to my childhood. And I realized that everything that affects me in my adult life, in the adult world, in the relationship building realm, deals with traumatic events that happened when I was 6 years old. So my first book deals with inner child healing and how to, because these are things that are buried so far deep in your subconscious that if you don't really process it and you never mend it, it affects the way you build current relationships with friends, family, and loved ones.
Mhm.
So that was my first book. It came out and it's received really positive reviews. And then I went through and I wrote to continue my journey more in the can't even speak,
Twin flame, yeah.
flame realm. I wrote a second book called Empath and Psychic Powers Awakened, for anybody who's interested in diving deeper into the spiritual world. And when you are a twin flame, you naturally can tap into the energies of your twin, and then it opens up a new world for you if you know how to do it. So my book guides people on how to do that. and ways to protect your energy, because that is something that is very important when you're opening yourself up to the spiritual realms. And so that has been out and it's received positive reviews. And I'm currently working on my third book. It's called Self Love for Women on the Twin Flame Journey. So that's in progress and it should be out within 2 months.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's been a journey for you. And as you mentioned, what really stood out to me and resonated with me is our parents not necessarily are they obviously love us and they want the best for us, but sometimes they project a lot of their own personal fears onto us, and we have to really separate that and make sure we pursue our passion. And as you mentioned, coming from an Asian strict background, it can be challenging at times to be able to pursue what you truly want deep down inside, like what really resonates with you and what makes you happy, because there are so many different things that make our parents happy, and we're not the same people. As much as we love them and appreciate them, we have our own journey. So I completely understand that. And uh, as you mentioned, you've written obviously 3 books, and your journey post divorce, like, is that everything that you have written up until this point? Was this all after you went through your divorce?
After my divorce, I was married for 26 years.
Oh, okay.
And I'm very old. Uh,
You don't look like it at all. You look like you're in your early 30s.
Seriously, I have a full-grown kid. Um, so when I went through my, we'll touch in on like soulmates and twin flames.
Oh, yes, would love that. Yeah.
Um, I met my soulmate, which I'm married, and I just knew there was something missing. It was a great marriage, but there was something not quite there. And I knew it because I could feel it deep down. And he taught me a lot about life, and I needed him at that time to ground myself, to finish college, to kind of follow the natural path for people. Um, in the traditional sense, you get married, you have a
Sure.
kid, you buy a house, you have a career, etc.
Hmm.
Um, when I want to go back a little bit. This part I think is very unique and interesting. When I was 18 years old, ready to head off to college, my dad took me to see a Buddhist monk.
Hmm.
Dad, this is in Houston. He says, just have an open mind, go in and see what he wants to say to you. I thought, whatever, my dad's just driving me all of a sudden. We're in his house. So I
Yeah.
go into the living room. The monk tells my dad to go wait in a different room. And it was just me and this old Buddhist monk. And he said, let me see your palms. And I held out both palms and he looked at both and he said, all right, we'll use this one. And he started predicting my future. And I rolled my eyes. I'm like, whatever. So he could sense that I was skeptic, I was
Yeah.
not believing him. So he took a deep breath and then he said, this is what has happened in your childhood. And I'm like, whoa, those are things that I've never even told my parents. How does he know this?
Ooh.
So then I started listening to him, and he predicted different things about my life. He says, when your firstborn is college age, you will go through a divorce. Well, he said, by the time you turn 30, you're going to have traveled the world to all continents. By the time your firstborn is college age, you will go through a divorce and you will actually meet your twin. I laughed. I said, what twin? I'm an only child.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Spiritual twin. I said, I don't know what that means. Because you will at the time, I see you. You have a twin out there and you will meet them. And you will meet them in every lifetime. And I just thought, what is this bogus stuff? And I was very curious as to what will he look like?
Yeah.
Much younger than you by 12 years. He'll be very handsome. And the number 3 will play a powerful role in your meeting, blah, blah, blah. So I went through a divorce, and everything he has said has come true. I met my twin on a random date. And this is
Wow.
swipe right, swipe left. And this is somebody based on the profile photo that I would have never swiped. I don't know how that happened. I said, this is weird. This guy's messaging me, and I'm looking at the profile photo going, whoa, I don't date bad boys looking like this, you know? Um, and we started connecting, and then I agreed to meet him for a date, and things just unfolded. And then little weird
Incredible.
synchronicities. We had seen each other way back when I was in college, and he was a young boy in the streets of Barcelona. And then we re-met again in San Francisco. And so since my divorce, that's when my spiritual healing began, when me and my twin went through a period of separation. It's a period where you basically break up because you can't deal
Yeah.
with it anymore. I made the decision to break up with him.
Yeah.
Since that, the universe keeps sending me signs and synchronicities. I started seeing angel numbers all the time, which I never even paid attention to, didn't even know what it was. I
Mhm.
would go and sleep, and I would wake up with like all these downloads, knowledge downloads, you know. And I woke up one day and knew how to read tarot cards. I had never held a tarot deck in my whole life. I said, what is this weird thing that's happening to me? After my divorce, I was, by myself, living in
Yeah.
San Francisco, working in the tech world, doing a lot of meditation every day, and connecting with my spirit guides, connecting with my higher self. And I started learning, things started appearing to me without me seeking it. I would be searching for something because I was stuck on my coding project, and
Mhm.
1111 would show up. I'm like, what is this 1111 all the time? So I started researching. Then I said, oh, what is twin flames? So most people who go through the twin flame journey, they are not searching for it. It kind of you're chosen to be a twin flame, and this is something that has been predestined in your previous lives, where you've agreed to re-meet again because we have a mission that we need to accomplish in on Earth to bring happiness and unconditional love to humanity. And that's our job as a twin flame. I'm living out my spiritual journey by writing books to help the collective on their self healing, because going through the twin flame journey is actually a very, it can be very, very um, traumatic and painful. But if you learn to heal internally and learn to love yourself fully, which a lot of us have a lot of wounds, and
Mhm.
if you've learned to heal yourself, then this period of separation, having someone or not having someone, becomes something that you embrace and you find power through that. And that's what my books are all about, you know.
Thank you for sharing that. Such a beautiful journey that you've been on, and with a lot of ups and downs, I'm sure. And as you mentioned, twin flame, that's something that I was always very fascinated by. And I remember I used to like research all about it, especially when I was younger. And as you mentioned, tarot card, and I think a lot of people don't talk about these things, but when we're alone, we really learn about what we like and what we don't like. And these are all the same exact things that I really resonate with you, because I'm thinking to myself, I also, as you mentioned, you went to this monk and like you didn't believe him and you rolled your eyes and you're like, I don't really care. I don't believe in all this stuff. But when you start experiencing it, and when you start seeing things happen in real life, that's when you realize that there's a lot of truth to those things as well. And if uh, we can either take it as signs, or we can take it as something just happening coincidentally. And I think I've always lived my life similar to you, as you mentioned, kind of first dodging it, but at the same time, once you dig a little bit deeper and love yourself, and as you mentioned, meditation, that's when you have a lot more clarity. So yeah, I will definitely check out your books. I'm super excited about that. And I wanted to dive a little bit deeper into daily practices. As you mentioned, meditation really helped you with a lot of things in life. So, how did you get started? And if there's any tips that you can share with people listening?
Yeah, meditation is something that kind of came about, where I wasn't trying to meditate, but it's hard for some people to really let go of things while they're doing meditation. So I first started actually using the Calm app and the guided meditation when the Calm app was brand new. I said, I don't know, we'll try it,
I'm
and now
sorry, what is that exactly?
the Calm app, CAL,
Oh, the Calm app. Okay, got it. Okay, okay, okay.
couple of years ago. It was brand new.
Yeah,
I think with that app, a whole bunch of new apps have come about to guide you with some guided meditations. For a lot of people, guided meditations are a great way to start your day. Um, I like to listen to a guided meditation early in the day, a 5 minute gratitude meditation to start my day, because I find that mindfulness and positive thinking can go a long way. And if you are constantly thinking positive, manifestation type things, as you own it, it's already come through and become a reality. If it's, I can't speak English today. Uh, if you believe it and you
yeah.
think that it's already happened,
Hmm.
helps bring it forth, right? So meditation,
Do you mean like visualizing it? Like you already have
you
something?
already have something, even if you are trying to manifest it, if you believe it and you visualize it happening, it will come through and become a reality. I think that meditation is a great way to get clarity in your if you have some question that you are wanting to have answered. Some people like to go and see like a psychic, a medium, or a
Yeah.
tarot reader. But I think that we all have the power to connect with our higher selves and kind of listen, because you will find the answers if you meditate and you're looking for something. Something will come through and it'll be, aha, that's what I need to do. So I was contemplating, do I continue in the teaching field, or do I go into the tech world? And my guides showed me, go and pursue a new career, it'll be positive for you. And then now that I'm unemployed again from the tech world, I keep saying, do I go back into tech? And they're like, pursue your book, be an author, be an influencer, just kind of go with the flow. And I believe that the universe, guides you. You see messages in unexpected places. If you listen to, some people are intuitive in many ways, they can see things. Some people need to dream about it. Sometimes the guides will speak and you hear their voices. It just depends on uh, the skills you have. And I like to just listen to what's happening around me when I'm least expecting it. I can hear my guides speak to me and or show me things. And I listen to that very carefully, and then I reflect on it, and I just trust my intuition. Right now, it's all like, trust my intuition.
Yeah, yeah, no, totally. I'm on a very similar journey at the moment as well, as you mentioned, leaving teaching behind. I've been a teacher for 9 years and I'm still teaching kids at the moment, but this whole influencing thing has always been on my mind. And a part of me pursued it years ago and then decided to let it go due to fear and like, oh, what are people going to think? And now I'm like, no, I am going to do what I want to do. And I don't meditate consistently at the moment, but I'm really intuitive and I'm just following my passion. And something inside me is saying to stick with it, and don't give up. And so that's my goal at the moment. And so I really appreciate you sharing that. And I wanted to talk a little bit about, obviously, with the good days, there's bad days as well. So during struggling days, how do you handle them, and how do you um, have that positive mindset? Because at times it's really challenging.
Yeah, we all go through cycles. You have a positive upswing and then you'll have a downswing. When I'm in my downswing, I try not to lose hope, because I know that it's only temporary. Whatever it is that's going on that is not good is temporary and it will pass. So if you can kind of, when you are low and down, look for the tiny things in daily life to help you. make it through, the
Mhm.
smell of fresh coffee in the morning, you
Yeah.
know that you have a cup of coffee to start off the day. You've got a roof over your head. You have running water in your house. You have comforts. There are people out there in this world that don't have these basic necessities. You have a toilet that works,
Yeah.
especially travel. I've seen a lot.
Mhm.
And when you're in your lows, focus on the small things. Don't focus on like what did not go well, because if you focus on the negative, you attract more negative. So you let go, and whatever it is, you can just say, whatever that is causing me fear, clear and transmute it all across all dimensions, time, space, and reality. And just kind of, or imagine it and then explode it, explode
Mhm.
it away, whatever that is, and just clear it, because it will pass. It's not permanent. Your suffering is not permanent.
Mhm. Mhm. Thank you.
It, and it's always like that. We always have up periods and down periods, just like the weather,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
whether it's bad storms in your personal life, it will pass. And just think that this is not permanent. And always think of the small things. If you have a really low down day, think, I have a sweet dog that is guiding me and comforting me. He's sleeping on my lap right now. Actually, 2023 was a really tough year. Not only did I lose my tech job, that was very well paid.
Mhm.
My 3-year-old Yorkie, my gorgeous little Maximus, actually passed also. I took him on a trip and he ate some poison, and then it ruined his kidneys. And I spent a lot of money trying to save him. But at the end, I said, you know what? Enough is enough, and I don't want him to suffer. So I had to put him to sleep. He was only 3 years old. It was my first dog as an adult person.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I mourned him for 6 months, and then I manifested a new dog. I mean, he's sleeping right now. You can't see him, but his name is Einstein. He's really sweet. Um,
Oh.
and so 2023, if I look back, yes, I did lose my job and I lost my dog, but out of it came all these partnerships that I did not expect, paid partnerships and travel around the world. I think I traveled to 10 US cities and 10 international cities. I did so many different things, and I published multiple books all during my unemployment. People are like, how do you
Right.
have time? I said, well, I'm employed right now, so I'm doing all this that I can.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
I find that if you have a routine and you can follow it, it helps too, especially being unemployed. This is for anybody who's been unemployed and wanting to use their time wisely. I still would follow the same similar routine as I did for work, but now I'm working for myself. I have my own LLC, my own company. I'm CEO of my own company.
Yeah. That's
So I'm making ends meet, but
that's
it's just
great. That's really
not.
inspiring. And the fact that you mentioned, throughout the entire journey, um the most important thing is that you decided to pursue your passion and you decided to go for it. Um and a lot of people who are unemployed, again, it could be a difficult time to be able to really try to dig deep and figure out what is right and what isn't, because ultimately our society puts a lot of pressure on us to make money, and we have to make money in order, as you mentioned, to make ends meet and to be able to provide. But at the same time, sometimes we just get stuck in this loophole of making money, but we're not happy with the position that we have. So I think there should be a focus on pursuing your passion, because I do believe that money will come if you find something that you're really good at and that you enjoy doing. It does definitely take time. Even with me, with teaching, as much as I love it and I say that it's my passion, I would say social media influencing and what I'm doing currently at the moment, as I'm having a conversation with you, this fills up my cup. This is something that I really enjoy doing. And that's why I'm really pursuing this whole podcasting journey as well. I believe you're my 16th or 17th podcast. So I'm really excited about this. And at times it could be rough because parents can say certain things, as much as I mentioned earlier, where they're like, you're not in your 20s anymore. You're 34 now. You need to get it together." But it's like, "Hey, I have it together. I have all my degrees. I made you guys happy, but I still want to pursue my own dream."
I think it's important, like I tell this to my kid, recently he changed careers as well. I said, don't give up your original job that's paying your 9 to 5, but continue pursuing your side hustle, you know,
Yes. Yes.
and until the side hustle can make the income, then you quit the job that you are not happy with, or, so always keep your teaching job and continue this
Yeah.
podcast until the podcast picks up on YouTube, and then you can make enough to pay for your expenses. Then
Exactly.
kind of think about, do I want to continue doing this or pursue what I'm actually really passionate about? So don't give up.
Yeah,
For
yeah.
you have a good job, don't give up your jobs. Because
Yeah, yeah.
and we do need to make rent, and that's important too. But when you do what you are passionate about, it doesn't feel like work. I really feel like I work more hours now than I did in tech for my
Yeah.
own company, because I'm so passionate about it. I want it to be successful, so I put in a lot of time. I might be watching TV late at night, which is my downtime, but I'm still thinking. And
Yeah.
then my computer, and I'll just like mute the TV while it's on, and start writing something that came to my head. But for a writer, it's important to stick to a schedule. But this is something that I've already put down my computer, and I'm trying to relax for the evening, but I can't because something came through, and I'm like, oh, I have to note this down. But
Yeah.
so recently, I have to say, like, I've watched so many movies that I don't really know what happened because it's just on the background. And that's something unusual for me.
Yeah, no, totally. As you mentioned, just you're following your dreams, and that's why it doesn't feel like work, and you're probably putting way more hours now because you're genuinely enjoying it. Oh, cute
Well,
doggy.
this is Einstein.
Einstein, so cute.
He's my little new companion.
We have a
3 pound,
special guest appearance, Einstein.
woke up. He's a 3 pound Yorkie. He's so small. I didn't expect him to be so little, but they said he would be really small. Do you want him? I said, sure.
You manifested him. There you go. Before I don't want to take too much of your time, but I just wanted to ask one last advice that you have for everyone. I know you offered so much great wisdom. I would say one last advice that you apply in your life,
One advice that I plan my life. Um,
that you apply on a day-to-day basis, maybe.
oh, well, I'm not in my 30s and 40s anymore. So
You,
I have
I was
wisdom.
thinking you're probably like honestly, you look so young.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm quite old. I mean, I had my kid at a regular age, and he's already 26, so you can imagine how old I am. I'm actually very careful with who I invite into my life, because right now, after being awakened spiritually, I can feel people and their bad energy. If their energy is negative, I avoid them like a plague, because I consider them like emotional vampires. I spend time with them, and they're taking away all my positive energy. And at the end of the day, I have to like cleanse my chakras, to feel healthy. And so I have eliminated people. My circle right now is very small. The higher, they say, the higher you vibe, the smaller your circle, and I really think that it has come true for me at least. If a person is super negative, I tend to not want to hang out with them very much. So I would say, for people out there, pick your friends carefully, the friends that make you not feel good. The ones that don't bring you happiness, that drain you, it's okay to say goodbye to them, and do without. And I say the same thing for men in your life. Now that I'm divorced, I did go through a period of dating, and I have a lot of guys that I've dated and I didn't choose. And then they disappear for 2 years, and then surprise, I'm back. And I'm like, no, goodbye to you too.
Yeah.
So, focus on yourself. and your self-worth and decide, what is worthy of your time and your energy. Because at the end, um, I feel like energy is very important, and only positive energy around you is good for your well-being.
I
So,
I love that so much. I think, I am on I ugh, I don't even I can't talk now. I love that so much because that really resonates with me. I'm really focused on positive energy at this point in my life. I feel like I used to be friends with everyone and just let everyone into my circle, and then I would realize that I didn't want them in my circle, and there's a big major reason for that. So I think positive energy matters a lot, and once you dig deep and learn about yourself, you'll really know who to attract, like what kind of people are right for you and right for your mindset, and people who are like, your cheerleaders and who make you happy. And I have a lot of close friends at the moment, a lot as in like, 4 or 5 friends who mean the world to me, and I think I share everything with them, but aside from that, it's like I am, very, very conscious who I invite in, and I think, it's okay to open your heart, but at the same time, you have to be very mindful of who you're, as you're mentioning, associating yourself with, and, then because you feel it right away if you share something with someone and then they walk away, you're like, "Yikes," like, I am not feeling right, and there has to be a reason behind it.
mhm. And then they say, to not share everything with everybody. If something great is happening, keep it to yourself, because people's negative energies and jealous vibes and whatnot will affect the outcome of what's great going on for you. So,
Yeah,
even with your best friends, don't share everything with them.
that's what I've heard. Yeah, my mom actually gives me the same exact advice. She's like, "Keep it to yourself, and then when something good happens, people will see it. You don't have to share."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Thank you
Thank
so much for
Yeah,
inviting me. I hope you get a chance to read my book. I only have one copy of my current book.
inner healing
The other,
child.
yeah, all the other books are I haven't I haven't requested author copies, but for my inner child healing, I did a trilogy. I have the actual book. I have the journaling prompts, which are very. I dug deep into my teaching days, and basically they're like exercises for how to heal your inner child by journaling and prompting to guide you into some lost, forgotten things that have possibly happened with your family, with your siblings, with your best friends. And
Mhm.
then I have an inner child healing coloring book, which is a great book for with photos that are helpful for you to reflect on your childhood upbringing. So I have a 3-set series for the inner child healing, and all the books are available. I primarily sell them on Amazon, although it is being sold at Barnes and Nobles, Target, Walmart, various thrift shops, etc. So,
Thank you so much. It was lovely having you. I really appreciate your time and look forward to talking to you soon. Thank
all
you.
right. Thanks so much. Bye bye.